On social media, people use the hashtag Madonna's face to point out her dramatically different look, usually with unkind comments. And there were plenty of hurtful headlines in the media. This one from Page 6. Fans so confused by Madonna's new face at Grammys 2023. Joining us live now is a best-selling author who created a stir on Instagram with her response to the Madonna hate, Rachel Simmons. Rachel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So for people now following this closely, what kinds of things were people saying about Madonna at the Grammys?
There was such a strong reaction. People saying, I don't recognize this person. This is not Madonna. Can it possibly be her? There was almost no focus on what she was there to say, only on her appearance. And really what I think this was about was just a lot of ageism. We really punish women when they get older, and we don't let them do what they need to do. We just focus on their appearance. Well, my point was that it's really unfair for us to call out Madonna as an individual. And every time we do that, we're not really focusing on the system that creates Madonnas. We're not thinking about what is it about our society that puts so much pressure on women to alter their appearance. And it's a lot more convenient for many people, especially women, I'm afraid, to harsh on an individual rather than take aim at the system. And that's really my point. And I think it's important for parents to talk to their kids about it, because we're not going to get anywhere and make this society a better place for women or for aging people until we look at society and we stop beating up on people. There was an AARP study that came out last year, a study of about 6,000 women over 50, and a huge portion of them said, yes, I've been discriminated against. Yes, this has taken a toll on my mental health. This is a serious issue. And we actually know that discrimination against women on the basis of age starts at 45, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And it's not the same for men. It actually starts much later for men. Men tend to be seen as being distinguished looking when they get older. But women, we suddenly are scrutinized for our skin and our shape at a much earlier age. Of course. I mean, everyone faces ageism. I think the point is that it starts later for men. And so actually, this is something that men and women can be allies about and support each other on. I don't think that men are subject to spending the same amount of money that women are spending. I mean, the amount of people receiving Botox went up by some huge hundreds of percentages in the last 20 years. And it tends to be women who are disproportionately engaging services like plastic surgery, filler, Botox, and spending millions and millions of dollars on makeup every single year.
I wonder if you view it as a catch-22, right? On the one hand, you get criticized if you don't try to look youthful or you don't look youthful, but then you also get criticized, like, did she get Botox? Did she get plastic surgery? Did she do something to herself?
Yeah, I mean, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And that's part of how we know that this is really unfair. I think it's also true that for a long time in their careers, women are penalized for being too young, for not being seasoned enough, for not having, I don't know, seniority or whatever it is, whatever that quality, that intangible quality women are expected to have in order to be seen as worthy of leadership. Yeah. And then there's this very small window where it's like, okay, now you're both young enough but not too old in order to be seen as palatable, and oops, now you're too old. So these are really unfair double standards that everyone needs to be focusing on, rather than going after individual women who might trigger people or make others uncomfortable because of the choices they've made. Well, I think we just have to stop judging individual people for their choices. Like, every time you feel that urge to be like, oh my gosh, like, look what that person did to their face, I would say take a minute and ask yourself, what is it about our society that might push that person to do that to their face? And maybe I should turn my outrage there. So that's one thing. Let's ease up on the judgment and think a little bit bigger about what's at play. I very much think parents need to talk to boys and girls about this. Boys should know how much money girls from a young age are starting to spend on makeup, and they should understand the role that boys and men play in judging girls and women who don't wear makeup. So we all can focus on our own behavior as individuals, we as parents, as kids, as teachers, and at the same time, think about the system. What beyond us is at play here? And just elevate the conversation.
All right. Well, Rachel Simmons, you've elevated the conversation for us here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.